You know, there are some days you wake up when they just seem perfect. Maybe a little too perfect. You might think like you have the whole day planned and maybe visit a friend. Sounds cool, right? But reality hits.
The customer you're trying to reach is not available. Please call back 19T2. The customer you're trying to reach is not available. Please call back.
In times like these, you can only survive by the techniques your bro taught you. These are Bluetooth devices. Technically, they are Bluetooth peripheral which people like me and you can use to listen to music, listen to a podcast, or just share some files on the fly. And the story ends here, right? Well, turns out for the past weeks, my view on YouTube was really all over the place to a point that when I saw this video,
One app that comes with a Spark 40 that you shouldn't uninstall is Freelink. That app basically lets you send messages and make phone calls for free using Bluetooth.
I legit was in shock. Like, hey, I thought you've reached peak texting with RCS and iMessage. Bluetooth texting? Bluetooth calls? Wait a minute. What even is Bluetooth in the first place? Well, to understand why people like you and me find this really interesting, even more interesting than the iPhone release, take YouTube. Let me introduce you to the exponential growth bias.
But let me just make it clear.
Yeah.
Since the Industrial Revolution, basically,
Yeah.
we've been living in an exponential world.
Has it been?
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh.
It's felt linear.
It feels linear because you're occupying tiny bits of a much larger scale of change. All right. So
Now, the English version is on an ideally perfect world. We human beings, we people, have a tendency of underestimating how quickly something grows, especially when its growth curve is something like this, exponential, not linearly. Why? Because our brains just can't work exponentially, they work linearly. So when something, let's say, has grown tenfolds in the last 10 years, when people like you and me, normies, look back, we feel like, hey, it has always been that way, and not appreciating how quickly and how exponentially the tech has advanced up to that point. Hope this makes sense. But if it doesn't, well, let me walk you through Bluetooth real quick to make this exact same point. Now, in its simplest form, Bluetooth is nothing but a wave. And the story of this wave discovery begins way back in 1994. And at that time, let's say cable management was
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
let's say I'm doing a pretty decent job here. But due to society, cables had to be managed. And Dr. Jad Hudson and Spet Madison were tasked on finding different ways to cable manage. And at the end of the research, they came up with a universal shuttling technology. They basically used the frequency hopping spread spectrum technology to develop a new tech that was operable in the 2.4 gigahertz unlicensed ISM band to transmit data across a short range, consuming as little energy as possible compared to the existing methods like Wi-Fi. And they basically later on patented this technology to companies like Nokia, IBM, and Toshiba, basically saying that, hey, the research worked, guys, and now we think that this can be the future. You want to be part of it, and yeah, Bluetooth, I guess, But the name itself came from Intel. Well, not specifically from Intel, from a guy working in Intel, where he heard a story of a Danish king, Harald Bluetooth, uniting the tribes of Denmark and Norway under one crown, basically uniting devices, and hence the name Bluetooth. And the iconic logo, well, that's just the H and the D fused together from Harald Bluetooth, and right, we have Bluetooth. Now, up to the early 2000s, Bluetooth Classic or Bluetooth 1 was the norm. It was made up of 79 individual channels, each spaced at 1 MHz bandwidth, at a frequency of around 1600 hops per second. Now, why these hops, you may ask? Well, because Bluetooth is on the same range as other networks within the 2.4 GHz band, including Wi-Fi. These hops are necessary to reduce interference between these two technologies operating at the same band. But as time moved on, it was realized that, hey, the working channels of Bluetooth were actually less compared to the existing ones, the 79, because it was found that they were 37, 38, and 39, which meant that the next iteration of Bluetooth, which was Bluetooth 4, or most people would call it Bluetooth Low Energy, had significantly less channels. Less channels meant that, hey, the technology now consumed even less energy. And the other benefit was we were seeing another wave, another rise of Bluetooth peripheral devices. These included Bluetooth trackers, the fitness trackers, the beacons, the Internet of Things, and so on devices. But what was rather interesting in my time, I grew up and saw Bluetooth 5. And this is that time of the internet where everybody was trying to explain what the hell was going on, because Bluetooth 5 turned heads. It was the first time you were seeing many Bluetooth 5 explained videos on YouTube, and the main improvement were 2 megabit second 5. If you don't know what that means, it was just a faster throughput, meaning more data was able to be transmitted. It was even at a longer range with coded 5. Advertising was extended, and the best thing was it was periodic, meaning it was only online if a scanner was nearby, massively saving power consumption, which is true because it was this time where Bluetooth headphones were advertising a ridiculous amount of battery life. And yeah, life was good. Okay, that's enough nerd talk. You see the point here that I'm making about the exponential bias. We have seen that from less than 30 years that Bluetooth was alive, it has gone from a lab experiment to now over 5 billion devices shipping yearly. But I don't think that I really do understand this technology to a point that it can now connect to the cloud and computing and stuff. To understand it fully, I need to talk to the professionals who are in the back end of what exactly is going on with Bluetooth. You know, the irony in all this is that we've spent a really long time preaching for a global village, and now we just want to throw it away like that. And the technologies like Bluetooth tell us that, hey, we still have to preach that the world is a global village in order to maintain balance and maintain the human nature, which is to communicate. And yeah, till next time, I was your host, Luke, and remember, the only limit is your imagination, and yeah, that's it.